guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the shop. So I'm elbow deep in it today. Show you what I got. I got our donor injector pump for Snowball on the bench here. And you haven't seen it like this in a while, but the bench is actually kind of clean until you get over there on that end. Got my nice pan set up, so if I have any oil or anything, it's not going to get all over the bench. It's a clean spot to work. See, I've already been cleaning up this pump, getting some of the flaking paint off. I'm taking some of these brackets off because they won't be needed at all on the application I'm putting it on, especially this one. This is your travel stop for the shutoff lever when you have the electronic shutoff solenoid equipped, which I don't. And the specific purpose of that is to keep the solenoid from over traveling and pushing its guts out. So we won't need this, but I am keeping all of these parts and putting them on the floor behind the seat, behind the driver's seat, and the Rotten Rescue, the Dodge. Pump came off the Dodge. Yes, that is bad news for the Dodge because, you know, when stuff like this starts happening, you start cannibalizing parts. Usually those things never end up getting put back together. So, the Rotten Rescue probably has a pretty grim fate ahead of it. I got somebody else begging me for the NV4500 out of it. I don't know. And the truck is just in such bad shape. So, yeah. Probably not going to do anything with it. I don't remember if I showed you guys this or not, but I got the hardtop done. Got the color on it. Other colors. This is just where there was some overspray from the other colors on the green. I wiped it with my hand. I haven't even washed it off yet, so that will look better. But yeah, it's ready to be put on. Rotten Rescue. I mean, I cranked it up and drove it to right here, but you can see it's yeah, it's missing its heart, and the batteries are not holding a charge. That one went bad. This one isn't wanting to hold a charge very long anymore. About a week maybe. I think the last straw was I went to move it to cut grass. You see, it's been done like day before yesterday, and the ignition switch went out. And the the multifunction switch is bad. The clock spring is bad. Needs a shitload of wiring. The frame is fucked up. The body's messed up. Needs a clutch. So yeah, it's I think it's just going to be a donor. Poor thing. I had much bigger plans for it, but it has given its parts so that others may live. Now I'm still going to get the pump off of this one. Now I am going to finish cleaning up our donor pump over there, and I have such a mess here, and it's been like this for so long. This is really getting old. I'm going to spray it down with some self-etching primer and shoot a coat or two of the Cummins tan on it. It's not going to be as nice and clean and pretty as the pump that's on the truck right now, but that's what happens when you have to redo things and they're kind of an afterthought. But I still got to get this pump off. I've still got to I need to pull my, I got a set of 3 and 4K governor springs in there. I need to see if they're any good, if they're salvageable. If they're damaged at all, I will not reuse them. I'll get a new set, but if they're not destroyed, not damaged, then I'll see if I can reuse them in the new pump. I'm going to reuse this AFC, these brackets, the stop lever there, all the throttle control lever stuff right there, because it's different. Yeah, we'll see. I got the fuel plate in there is already ground as well. I did that, so I'll reuse that fuel plate, and I am going to fix this pump eventually. Not sure what all is broken inside of it, but the main body and all that there's nothing wrong with it, so we'll see. And if I have to send it off to a pump shop, then I will, but I just don't have the time or the money to do that right now, so. Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to let you guys know what was up. Still have yet to really dive into this other pump. I know it's been rebuilt, because the engine in the Rotten Rescue, the Dodge there, is a reman. It's a Jasper factory exchange engine. It was changed at a dealership, so. And this, I mean, your telltale signs for a P pump being rebuilt is from the factory. These two fasteners are rivets. Instead, there's an Allen and a bolt, and there's a big glob of paint there on each one of these. There's globs of paint. Same thing on the other side. And if you look under the black, they're actually red paint. It was the same thing with the throttle lever linkage and stuff like that. And there's there's some other telltale signs, like the O-ring here. I think these are usually a red from Cummins. The freeze plugs under here in the bottom that seal the plungers and all that, those are brass. They're usually a steel or nickel plated. Yeah, just different things. You know, the screws here are flathead screws instead of, there's no tamper proof or no rivet, no nothing. So this pump is fine. I know the Rotten Rescue ran fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I cranked it up and drove it to there. So yeah, this should get me, well, at least get the truck back running. It's getting there, guys. It's just, when you run into stuff like this, you know, it's gonna take me a day probably to pull that pump and to put this pump on and get it running again. So, but I'm trying not to let it get me too down. You know, it's unavoidable. This stuff sucks. It sucks to have big failures like this when you haven't even gotten to drive the thing. And I don't know. I've got an idea that either I loosened up the governor springs too much making adjustments and it just rattled loose and came apart, or I do remember when I put those together, and the whole time I've been messing with it, the detents for the governor spring adjustments were never really tight. They never really clicked. You know, there's supposed to be a good solid click when you make an adjustment, and they never did that. So it may not have been a pin or something that came apart in there. They may have just, the adjustment screws backed out on it, sitting there idling, because it was idling when it did that. So anyway, not sure what's next. I don't know if I'm going to get the top put on the truck, in which case I'll be making another waterproofing a deuce video on doing that, because that's an important part, or if I'm going to stick the pump on the truck. We'll see. So thanks for watching, dudes. Like and subscribe if you would, please. Share the video if you find anything on this little short video useful. Don't forget to check out all our sponsors. Their information is in the description below, and we'll see you next time.